All right, 2003 John Deere 450H. They made these machines for about maybe 8 years. Stand-on pump. Here's some more numbers. 2346 was written on there. I don't know if that means anything. There's not really any casting numbers on it. It's kind of weird. You'd think that something would be casted in there. Looks like we got a seal here. It's going right there. It's on a tapered shaft. There's no pin in there. There's not a lot of information on the internet about this. I did this about 4 years ago. Had it rebuilt. Long story short, it did not run right. It sputtered like a car with spark plug wires crossed up. I just called the guy back. I said, "Hey, it's still running like crap." He said, "Hey, I didn't test it on the bench. Send it back to me. I mean, it's an hour and a half to get it on, and an hour and a half to get it off, whatever." Sent it back to me. It's lasted about 4 years, maybe 5 years. But I run this dozer like when I want to on my time off. It's kind of the jobs I want to do. It's only got 2,500 hours on it, maybe 28. But anyway, very low hours for the year it is. And this is the second time the pump's been off of it. The ECU's been replaced, but that's just part of weathering. And you got to watch your transmission. Don't let your transmission controller get wet. Cover your dozer up or put it under a shed, or you will be buying, when they get about 15 years old, you'll be buying that unit right there. And it will cost you about $5,000 plus programming it. So keep your machine dry. Need to run maybe a lubricant in here. I don't do that all the time. Maybe some oil or either something for injection pumps, but that gets expensive too. So probably over the course of time, you probably end up paying for a pump just in additives. This pump could have been rebuilt for $1,000, $1,500. That's what he told me. The electronics, electronics are here in the back. There's some kind of plunger. I'm not real sure. I think this cuts it on and off, maybe, but it doesn't matter. It couldn't be replaced. This is a brand new pump, $3,500 from John Deere. I had a local injection pump rebuilder. I sent it to him. He said $1,000, $1,500. I get the bill. It's $2,150. He tells me all this is garbage. The pump's garbage anyway, is what he says. But this he couldn't fix, and I don't blame him for that. So he got me a brand new pump for $2,150, which is still better than $3,500. That was kind of out the door. $3,500 for John Deere would have been with tax, and they said, "Well, we can get you one today." I said, "I'm fine. I can wait. To have this guy rebuild it for half the price." Okay, so this is where we're at. It's this hole right here. Not a lot of information on this. I'm not going to show you how to put this on because it's not that hard. Anybody that with any kind of mechanical ability, I'm going to explain it to you. 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. They're kind of hard to get to. Not really. If you know what you're doing. Injection lines, just plugs, you'll see all that. I don't have to tell you all that. Inlet, outlet, return, very simple tools. You're going to need Allen heads to get this off. And what you're definitely going to need is this tool right here. All right, John Deere's going to be about $100. That was 5 years ago. JDG 1559. This is a timing tool, and what it does, it goes in here, just like he may have it timed for me. He said he did. It doesn't matter. You'll feel it. Let's see if I can get. I've got a headlamp on here. Let's see if I can do this, and you can see what I'm talking about. Get the headlamp to turn on. Maybe. Well, now my headlamp doesn't want to turn on. Of course. But anyway, I got this. In here, here's your tool. You can do it with a drill bit. I would not chance it. I'd go buy this tool. If you're gonna do the work yourself, this tool's well worth the money, even if you get it from John Deere for $100, because it's raining here, so you hear the rain. But I'm under a shed, so. I would put the tool in. I would not chance it. You don't want this thing to be out I'm talking any. When you take it apart, He told me to sand the shaft. I've done that. This is a tapered shaft, not a keyed shaft. Also, in there, it's a tapered shaft coming this way. And on the front, it's just gears. It's just a gear with a nut, just like this. This is the nut, and this is the washer. I'm gonna put the washer on, of course, first. I'll put the nut on there. I've got to do some research. It says anywhere from 92 to 110 on the torque, depending on the pump. I'm gonna call my guy back and see what I've got on the pump, what numbers. But it's very simple to put back on. You want to clean your surface here. I'll put that right there. Clean your surface. I'm gonna put a little bit of former gasket, not much. I'm just gonna put it on the front of this. It's already got a seal there. I don't think you have to do it, but I like to do it. I don't want to put it on there and it leaks later. That's up to you. I'm gonna reconnect my lines. They'll only go where they will go. And can't stretch a metal line. They'll only line back up. Here's your electric clip. Electric clip right there. Back here in the back. This is the one for the back. It's gonna have little ears on it to clamp in there. See that? That's the back. Very simple. And I checked my connections. I've been fighting this for a long time, especially before I sent the first pump off, because this is very expensive. So you kind of want to figure out everything that can be going wrong before you send this off, unless you have plenty of money. And you know, it's just crazy to spend $3,500 and you come back and one of those wires are corroded or loose. You can even go to John Deere probably and buy those ends. Probably not, because they won't sell you a whole wiring harness. But anyway, check everything. Check your fuel tank. I've done that. Clean that. Check all your filters. They're on the other side. The filter's on the other side. And if it's still doing it, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. This problem is, I get the first time it was almost like the wires would be crossed up on your car, spark plug wires, and it would only do it when you cranked it. After that, it'd run fine. This time, after a long time of getting hot, it would start losing power, almost defueling itself. Never a code, never anything. So you got to throw a part at it to try to fix this, because the code's never going to come up, or at least it won't on my machine. So the last problem with it is no sputtering when I'm cranking it, but I crank up with full power to begin with. This started, and it would run all day. And then sometimes you crank up with half power, and it would only run, it would only get worse. And then you could cut it off and cut it on. You would get full power for a while, and then you'd start losing power again. It's just like a fuel problem. I mean, this here will drive you crazy trying to find the problem. And I have not replaced this yet, but it fixed it last time, and I'll put in the comments that this did not fix it, but this is 99% of the time the problem. He told me the pump was all garbage. Could not replace it. Had to put another pump on here. $3,500 from John Deere, $1,500 from he rebuilt it. Couldn't rebuild it, so he got me a whole nother pump for $2,150 out the door, no tax. Well, tax was on it, but anyway, John Deere would have been $3,000 plus the tax. So, all right, I just want to show some people, because if you're attempting this yourself, you need to kind of know how this thing comes apart. So, this tapered shaft is going to go into that gear I showed you on the front. You don't want to use those bolts to pull it up, because it's going to put pressure on the shaft. You want the shaft to be pulled through with the nut here. You want to sand the shaft to give it grip. Since there's no key on it, I've sanded it. And I'm going to put some CRC contact cleaner on it. Clean it really good. Sand that shaft, and that's not hard. Just scuff it up. You're not sanding down. You don't want to sand it down where it gets looser. You want it to be just rough. And to get this off, let me tell you a trick. You can't hardly line this thing up by bumping the starter. It's almost impossible. It's so close. So take a pipe wrench. This is your flywheel, and put the pipe wrench on there. Just keep turning it, and you'll feel when that part comes around in the pump right here. It's opened up. It'll fall right in there. And I actually took a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver is what I would do, not a flat. A bigger one, so nothing will get lodged in there. Just keep turning it on the flywheel until you feel it fall down. and you can put it there, and you can pull up on it, pull up. So you'll feel the screwdriver fall down. Once you do that, stick your timing tool in there. Like I say, somebody say you can do it with a drill bit, but if you don't have the timing tool, how do you know how big the drill bit should be? I would use this. You don't want to get your motor out of time over $100 part doing a $3,000 job, probably $5,000 from John Deere. So very, very simple tool for the money to invest in, and you have it then, you know. So back to that. So you turn it until this it'll fall in. It'll be up here, and then it'll fall in. It's in there now. I feel it. It's going in deep. You know, going in pretty deep. You can feel it. And you could also turn the front with the. Well, I don't know if you could turn the bolt on the front, but anyway, I know it's in there. You'll feel when it's up, and then you'll feel it fall down. Okay. Let's see. So it's. I think it would be. I feel the side of it right there. The side of the valley it's going to fall in. So you see how much is sticking in there, very little. And you can kind of see the wear right here. That's probably where it's falling into that groove. So that's about how much it's going to go in. So there, so I'm going to wiggle it around just a little bit and see. Watch it, it'll fall in there. See that? It fell in there about 1/4 of an inch. Maybe a little more. But there's the side of that. That's the side of the pump on that. It's not really a gear. But watch it, it's going to see that, and it's in there. Okay, it's locked now, so, excuse me. You could put the bolt on here, the nut on the bolt, or the shaft, but you need, he told me, the guy that rebuilds injectors, you need to hold that with a pair of, with a pipe wrench. You want to push down on it, because you pull it up, you want to push down, you'll feel the pressure on it when you try to tighten this nut up. So it's going that way, righty-tighty. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to hold that flywheel and make sure no pressure goes all onto this pump. But it will pull it on there as you're tightening it up. And you don't have to hold it a lot. You got the compression of the engine holding against it anyway. So you're at 100 foot-pounds of torque, 92 to 125 depending on the pump. You could call John Deere and get the torque. I'm going to put mine at maybe 110. That's in between both. If I can't find out what pump I have, maybe 100. But last time I didn't torque anything, and I had no problems. He said, make sure you rough this up. Make sure you rough up the gear in there because there's no set keyway or set screw or whatever you want to call it, a keyway in here. So if it turns on you, your engine will be out of time. And he said what will happen, your engine will run good, maybe for an hour or two after you install this pump, and you'll start getting problems with it losing power or running terrible. That's because this shaft's spinning on that gear in there. And so I did not do that last time, and I didn't have any trouble, but that makes perfectly good sense to do that. And we're going to do it this time. I probably even put anti-seize on there last time. He said, definitely don't do that. That's the worst thing you could do, but it came apart really good. So don't put anti-seize on it, but I dodged that bullet. So we're going to put it all back together. Here's your injection lines. It's pretty simple. I don't want to film the whole thing. It would take a long time. And the gear here will actually move up and down as you're undoing it. You pull that back. That gear will fall down just a little bit, but it's only falling into the teeth. It can't get out of time. It's up against just a whole front of the engine. If you ever watch one of these being rebuilt, there's just gears on the timing on the front instead of a chain like on a car. What I tell you, I'll tell you this. To make sure when you put that bolt on there or you're getting it off, stuff this full of rags. If you drop that washer down into here, this is just the oil galley, oil in those gears on the front of this engine. Make sure you stuff that rag in all the way around. I'm probably going to do it even more. And let me see if I can get that. All right, see that? It's tapered. You see this hole right here? You can't see it. I got a rag in there. You can see a valley right there. If you drop that nut or bolt down in this engine, you will wish you had never taken this apart. You'll wish John Deere would have paid you would have paid John Deere $10,000 to do this job. Not a big deal. Just make dang sure that you put a rag in here until you get that washer and that nut off. And leave it in there where no squirrel or anything else gets in there while this pump's being rebuilt, because this machine's been sitting here 3 weeks, and I probably could have got a new pump within a day or two from the same guy. We were just going to rebuild it. So all that to be said is we ended up with a new pump anyway. Not a big deal. If you're running these machines, it seems like a lot of money, but what these machines cost now, I mean, this is a 03 model in very good condition. I have the limb rakes for it. It get cracked up here on this front part. I've got them over here, rather fact sitting over on the ground. But this machine probably is $160,000 now. So keep these machines running, and if you're not making enough money with it to buy a $3,000 pump, even at John Deere's price, you need to be charging more. That's my lesson to anybody. I've done jobs really too cheap over the years, and you know, yeah, you can make money doing it, and I don't do this full time. So all I'm saying is, you want to charge enough to keep your machine running, and you want to charge enough to have money in surplus or savings to fix problems like this. If you can't make enough money to fix a $3,000 part or $5,000 worth of tracks, and I know you can't always do that, but as you're making money, you need to be putting money back. That's just all I can say, because you just can't do anything too cheap. Nobody else is doing it. If somebody else is doing it cheaper than you are, and you think you're at the bottom, let them have the job. Don't fight for a job that puts you out of business, because I've learned that. It's taken a long time for me to learn that, and I'm still probably too cheap, but I try to be fair, and I don't have to rely on this for a full-time income, but I do enjoy it. And we own a farm here, a little over 100 acres, maybe 150 acres, and we've got some more land here and there, but it has really been helpful to have this machine whenever you need it. If something happens, I've had people get stuck, and I just go pull them out and charge them, and that's just money made instantly, where if I didn't have this machine, I couldn't make that money. So this is, to me, a better investment than gold and silver and all that other stuff. I mean, yeah, it'll go up in value, but this here, it's just sitting around waiting on somebody to call you, and I've had it paid for probably within 2 years of when I bought it, and I got a really good deal on the machine. So it's almost like gold and silver sitting here. As long as it's running, someone will call me and need something done, and I have a backhoe too and multiple tractors. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into all that. But anyhow, I hope this has been helpful. Very simple to do if you've done it before like me, but if it's your first time, I know it doesn't seem simple, but you can do it, and don't pay John Deere $150 an hour to do this. And I will say the ECU went out on this machine. It cut off instantly in a full push, and it did throw a code. Had that redone at about $2,500. It's a little computer on the other side. I'll show it to you real quick since it's off and it's raining. Let's see. So the ECU is there. I got some wire ties. I didn't put bolts back in it because I didn't want it to vibrate apart. I just kind of wire tied it in there. They said that the vibration sometimes cause it to malfunction, especially the older units. But the ECU will go bad, and that's just something that, that's just part of age for these machines. And like I said, here's your computer controller. Do not let that get wet outside. I know a lot of people don't have a shed to put something under. I actually cover mine up on jobs with a tarp. Sometimes people say, dang, that's a lot of work. But you see what this machine looks like. And it's a 2003. I mean, it's never been painted. It's tight. I keep the maintenance up on it. Yeah, some cylinders every now and then, they'll leak, and I'll just rebuild them. I do them myself, or either send them off to have them done. But anyway, make sure you put limb rakes on these things too. I know I don't have mine on here right now, but they are going back on. You can't get hit in the face with a tree like I almost did one time, but the limb rakes were just put on it when that happened, so good Lord was looking out for me. Anyway, I hope this helps, and if you got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. But yeah, good luck with it, and save your money. Don't give it to John Deere. See you.